The Delhi High Court has asked the Delhi government to file a status report on the action taken to curb rising COVID cases in the national capital. The case will now be heard on the 3rd of December. Delhi government had indicated that they were actively considering imposing some type of curfew across the city to contain the rise in COVID cases, though no decision has been taken as yet, but some orders are likely to be issued soon. This submission was made by the state government after the High Court had asked that what action was being taken on the lines of possibility of imposing a night curfew or similar measures which have been taken by various state governments across the country. The High Court pulled up the Delhi government and asked why the status report submitted before today's hearing did not clarify the number of available ICU beds and health centers, and why beds in COVID healthcare centers were empty at a time when COVID cases were continuously rising in the national capital. The state government has been asked to explain how thousands of people turned up for COVID sensitization meetings despite strict norms which have been imposed by state government as well as municipal authorities to ensure social distancing across the city. The court has asked the government to explain whether norms are being flouted by people attending social and wedding functions and what action has been taken in this regard. The state government has been asked to create a portal for online payment of fines for violations of COVID norms and has been asked to utilize the money not just for keeping in the state coffers but for the betterment of patients admitted across the city. The Delhi government had informed the High Court that already 40,000 samples were collected in a day for RT-PCR testing. It remains to be seen what further reply would be filed by the state government in view of rising COVID cases in the national capital. In the past few months, the Delhi government has repeatedly been pulled up by the High Court over its mismanagement of the COVID crisis. A few months back, the Delhi government was pulled up, after which the number of tests which were being carried out in a particular day were increased. Also, the Union Home Ministry had intervened at that particular time and the cases somehow could be curtailed. But since the past one and a half months, the number of COVID cases have yet again increased in the national capital, though the state government has submitted that all measures are being taken. However, it has repeatedly been pulled up not only by the High Court but even by the Supreme Court for not being able to curb rising COVID cases. Also, the union government and municipal authorities have been asked to assist the Delhi government to ensure that patients do not suffer due to lack of treatment and care, and ample action is taken as early as possible.